All right, hello everyone, and welcome now to another human versus undead matchup. Don't know why I have so many human versus undead matchup today, but this is going to be TBCBM versus the Blade, or Blade here on Amazonia. Blade spawning as the red human player over here on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, TBCBM spawning as the blue undead. Undead versus human once more, as we're going to be looking at most likely another Archmage versus Death Knight matchup. Now, just because you see an Archmage versus Death Knight matchup doesn't mean it is going to be your standard game, as we saw in our last matchup where, well, a beautiful, beautiful hold. If you guys are watching these games out of order, you know what? I'm not going to even mention it because they're not, these games are not related and I don't always number my videos in time. But yeah, anyways, great game. For everyone who saw it on Twitch, you know what I'm referencing. For everyone watching on YouTube, which is the vast majority of you, probably the videos will get to 2,000, 3,000 views, which is the majority. Yeah, just go ahead and watch it. Really, really good. All right, busy Crota. Too late? I don't even know what that means right now. I'm too late to cast. Death Knight going to be go ahead and trained up by the undead player. Meanwhile, it is going to be an Archmage, so no surprises here. Now, Archmage is an incredibly powerful hero, as we have seen, very good at leading an army. But then again, when going up against undead, you don't really want a lot of casters. The problem is that so many of the main staples, Crypt Fiends, which are... The Crypt Fiends, which are a main staple, are able to easily take down priests, and you don't really want to be casting slow with, well, Devourers in the air. Well, Spellbreakers are incredibly powerful in that front line position, but undead players are already at the right proper tech 9 times out of 10 because of those slaughterhouses. So it almost seems like undead players have a very, very good answer without having to try and train additional units. I think one of humans' biggest weaknesses is how their units are actually laid out in their production. Workshops, workshops, barracks, arcane sanctums, and also Griffin aviaries for production buildings that cause a little bit of problems, as opposed to, say, the undead, which only have... Does undead only have 3 production buildings? Crypt, Slaughterhouse, and the Temple of the Damned. So yeah, with only 3 production buildings, they're able to more easily and more viably build the proper counters against human. That some people say that's one of the reasons why undead is such a dominant race now, since you don't have to actually... Frostworm. Well, Frostworm is a very... The Boneyard is a very specific unit, and Destroyers kind of overlap with what Frostworms are supposed to do. Frostworm is just the Boneyard only produces that one single siege unit, so there's a little bit of an overlap in usefulness there. A flying air destroyer, right? Militia now making their way over back here to the north position. Rock Golem and Mud Golem's gonna go ahead and get taken down very fast. An easy creep camp for undead or humans to try and take out, because this Rock Golem is, well, immune to magic, making it difficult for the Death Knight to heal. Frostworm is called space trash in South Korea. Really? Death Knight gonna go ahead and try and steal more of this, but with all of these skeletal minions getting taken out, all that's really left now is the footmen, who can easily put pressure onto this Death Knight. These peasants can perhaps also start building some of the necessary buildings, trying to finish off this here, as the Death Knight, he's not going to be able to do very much. This Water Elemental now taken down. Death Knight looking very, very hard to try to get the finishing shot there. As you can see, Death Knight gets up to level... Archmage gets up to level 3. Death Knight dangerously low on hit points. One more shot would have done it. RNG could have done it, as he does pick up the Tome of Intelligence a little bit late. Who knew? Maybe if he picked up the Tome of Intelligence and then tried to chase, that would have been enough. Death Knight now sitting at level 2. And this is going to be a very, very bad day for the undead. TBCBM well, is going to be forced to hide inside his base just a little bit longer, and the Archmage is going to have the opportunity to either clear creep camps or try to put pressure. Footmen now running in from the north. It looks as though they're going to be trying to put in pressure. We do not have defend, and we do not have any lumber mills as of yet, as I'm assuming the human player is actually having a little bit of problems. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch the colors so that it is easier to keep track of what's going on here. Death Coil takes down that unit there. Death Knight still sitting at level 2 as the skeletal minions now backing across here. Archmage sitting at level 3 will have enough mana for, well, for another water elemental here in just a second. Poor worms, for real. They can't even hug because they don't have legs. All right, maybe they can hug you with their wings, right? Like a frost worm can like land on its... They don't have legs? I'll have to double check that. And if they can land on their bodies, maybe they can still hug you. Death Knight now wandering across inside here, looking to get some additional skeletal minions before the scout tower is able to be constructed. Water Elemental trying to push some damage. Death Knight down to 138 hit points. Archmage should really be putting pressure onto the Death Knight. Death Knight, once that Death Knight is out of the fight, well, the Crypt Fiends are most likely not going to be sticking around either. All right, more damage to be had here. Archmage just trying to add that back up, and it looks as though instead of going for the Death Knight to stop the attack, he's going after all of those easier targets once more. All right, Crypt Fiend does... Oh, 5 units surround, able to break free as another 5 units surround tries to happen. That Crypt Fiend down to 229 hit points and is going to be able to back off. Crypt Fiend's getting them some easy shots. That low hit point footman should be backing off once again. Low hit point Ghoul down to 11 hit points, finally taken down. Archmage down to about 3.5 as the Death Knight, well, Footman now with the Fen, able to easily reflect all of that damage back, and the Death Knight does not want to stick around in that fight. Yes, Arya? All right, be careful, please. Especially as I might accidentally crush you if you keep on walking behind me like that. Low hit point Footman now looking to back up here. There is a Lich out, and a Lich with that Frost Nova can really slow down all of these Footmen, pretty much freeze them in their tracks. Back off to the north, Arcane Tower is going to be completed. Arcane Vault being added. And with that said, well, Frost Nova, there you have it. Low hit point Footman is going to be able to get away, taking damage after bit of damage, down to 59 hit points, down to 23, down to 11, and is able to get away once more. Footman trying to push back this Death Knight, and I've said this before, that the Archmage should have been putting pressure on the Death Knight to halt the attack. Skeletal minions now making their way across. Skeletal minions perhaps going to try and deal some damage back here. Footmen with the Fen, as all of those units are going to be backing up once again. 2 low hit point Footmen. Are they actually going to accidentally venture forth? They should be running all the way to the back here, as the Archmage is also low on hit points. Footmen finally getting taken out, and it looks as though the Undead starting to get a little bit of a control in this matchup, since the Death Knight has the ability to stick around much longer because of this Obsidian Statue healing. Now the main base also completely wide open. Crypt Fiend is going to be able to get through. Yes, it will. Enough trees were cleared out, and that is just absolutely a critical misplay. Undead going to be able to venture forth. However, doesn't want to commit to this fight, as he doesn't have a Scroll of Town Portal. All right, talk about going in deep. You can take a look at this here, as the Archmage going to be benefiting once again. All right. Oh, Death Knight. Oh, Archmage down to 139 hit points. Is going to get taken down. More damage being added. Death Knight does have a Death Coil, but does not go for it. Potion of Greater Healing used in time, as the Lich now needs to back up here. We do see a Dark or Sacrificial Skull, as the Lich is now surrounded and in trouble. Archmage getting a bit of an easy kill right there. 8 supply all of a sudden lost, as a Crypt Fiend and a Lich lost, giving the Archmage level 4. And I have to believe the Undead did not plan for that. All right, Crypt Fiend's now looking to back up again. Footmen now looking to head back out. Where are they all going to go? As they're going to be turning back around. Let's take a look at this. Death Knight looking to engage. Death Knight now heading back off to the north. Crypt Fiends trying to put back into pressure, as the Goblin Zeppelin is up in the air. Footmen dropped And that actually, you have to be very careful with that. Also, guard towers could easily get focused down here in a matter of seconds. Unarmored buildings take damage very quickly, and the Death Knight actually going to be benefiting from that little bit of experience. Water Elementals now finally dropped back down. Mountain King, Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight does not have a Scroll of Town Portal, and is he going to be able to break free? Footman trying to get in position, and it looks as though it is, well, yes, going to be able to do exactly that. Unholy Aura, allowing for the easy escape once more. Lich back out onto the field, this time twice as deadly with that Orb of Corruption. Frost Nova comes across, Footman trying to get away, and that Lich is just going to be able to start picking off these units one at a time. Mountain King may try to get off a Stormbolt again. Death Knight, what's happening here as we are looking at a Stormbolt onto their Death Coil in time. Mountain King trying to finish off targets as the Mountain King is going to be in trouble. Mountain King very, very deep, going to get taken down as we see the Destroyer now up in the air. Destroyer going to go ahead and devour magic. Death Coil coming in from the Death Knight most likely as the Destroyer is now chasing back after that target. Orb of Corruption quickly changing things as around as an absorb magic, devour magic happening again. 2 guard towers are still up. Economic advantage with flying machines coming across here. This could be the issue as the Death Knight now going to try and venture forth. This is not a good spot to be in. Well, we see moving home field advantage, getting in some additional blight onto the fight here as the Destroyers are now in this fight here. Destroyers up in the air. Mountain King coming in from behind. Could easily get a Stormbolt off on some units. Goblin Zeppelin followed by flying machines. Death Knight is stuck. Is it going to be able to escape? Death Knight, Mountain King holding position. Flying machines completely trapping this. And the Death Knight without a Scroll of Town Portal gonna lose his entire army and perhaps the game. There goes the Lich. Death Knight. Well, Mountain King's just gonna hold this position and say, knock knock, you're not getting out. I am guarding my front door so you can't get out, locking the perpetrator inside his base. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.